show up, man. Throw your wands up, throw your lighters up, because today, man, we doing it for my man Biz Markie, man. Look, check this out. Yo, God put your feet on solid ground today, man. Look, he woke you up, you got a job, you got your health, you got your wealth, you got your friends, and most importantly, man, you got the discussion with C&E. So throw it up right now for my man, Biz Markie, and the man above right now for blessing us all today, man. A special shout out to the Biz Markie family, man. Our prayers is in the house, and we putting it up for you, man. And guess what? The discussion is here, and we putting it out.
Today, false rumors had kind of went out yesterday, the last 2 days,
Right,
about Biz Markie dead. As we know, he has been dealing with illness. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm misinformed, anybody please correct me. I believe it was a stroke, I believe, that he suffered, I want to say last year. But the reports came out that he had passed away, and it turned out that those reports were not true. Indeed, the diabolical Biz is still alive. He's in hospice care at the present time, but he's still with us.
right.
So we're going to continue to throw our prayers up. We're going to give Biz his roses while he here.
That's what it is, man. That's what we do on the discussion,
And
man.
so
We celebrate
today's show
hip-hop.
is dedicated to the Biz.
To the Biz, man. That's what's happening, man.
Biz never sleeps.
The Biz never sleeps, yo. I love the Biz, man, and the Biz is what hip hop really was, and what hip hop how it started. He came like right after the foundation, right before that golden era came,
Right.
and laid the foundation.
Well, he was a part of that.
And cemented. Yeah, he was a part of leading into that. He was, but Biz Markie, man, look, the video of him on the boat.
The Vapors.
Watching the Vapors growing up, watching that, him on the boat, chasing the girls, you got the vape and all that. Man, it was everything to me, man.
Yo, Biz had me stealing one of my mom's food stamps and putting it on my hat. And going to school like that.
Yo, Miss Rita should have whooped you for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, back in the day, the food stamps, man, was serious, man. They kept it.
Ooh.
And if you remember right back in the days, if you were spending food stamps, you could get the change back. You remember that?
I remember that, man. That's crazy, man. But, you know, they stopped that quick, didn't they?
Yeah. But back in those times, you could get the change back, and we could use the change to go to the pool with.
Man, we used to love it, man.
Go to the pool, swim all day in that hot sun. Then you got the munchies on the way home. You stop our Piglet
Right.
with your food stand.
Or Sutton's food store.
Yeah, Sutton's food.
Cross from Emma
Fat Daddies. If you was really living good.
Fat Daddies didn't take food stamps.
Well, they didn't take food stamps, but if you was living good that day, you might have had a $5 or $6 in your pocket when you could go get a Fat Daddy special. You understand?
Or just get your food and walk out, baby. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, Biz inspired a whole generation. Biz was unique. He was different. Biz was the original Old Dirty. In a sense, excuse me.
Yeah, you know what? He do put you in the mind of that, though.
That zany, comedic, wild energy that Biz brought. But you know, once again, I have to go back. I have to state this as a lover of production. I used to love Biz Markie beats. Like, I don't know what Marley Marl was on,
Right.
what Cool V was on,
Right.
What they was on, and back in that time, those beats was crazy.
Yo, they was.
Still some of my favorite beats to this day.
Right.
The Vapors, Nobody Beats the Biz. You know what I mean?
Nobody beats the
Yo,
Biz.
this was insane.
Yo, that was it. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, listening to that era, right before that golden era ushered in, yo, that hip hop right there. Listen, you know what? When I listen to that Biz Markie, you know what I think about? I need like one of those MGM sweatsuits on. You know what I'm saying? I need some Fila's on. MCM, the MCM sweatsuit, the green joint, not the MGM green.
We gotta get it correct. I don't want people to think we talking about the grain.
Now we talking about MCM, the sweatsuit, the Fila's, or the Bally's. You had to have those at that time.
Facts.
And I cried because I couldn't get any.
What?
My brother had an MCM sweatsuit, a green one. I never forget it.
Which brother?
P-Funk.
I should have known.
Listen, when he took it off, I put it on, baby. I got the spirit of P-Funk in me, baby.
Yeah, take some flicks.
I got the spirit of P-Funk in me, baby. You know what I'm saying?
So like we said, man, today's show is dedicated to Biz Markie, the classic of the day. We're going to take it back to that golden era. We're going to keep it Biz Markie's first album is a certified classic.
It is, man. Biz Markie is a classic himself.
I mean, I'm talking about make the music with your mouth. Nobody beats the biz. Just rhyming with the biz.
Right.
And one of my favorites from back in the days. Go up your nose and pick a winner. Picking boogers.
Picking boogers.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, back in the days, I used to love that joint. When you had the vapors on here, this is something for the radio. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, this album right here is actually, when we start talking about some of the greatest albums ever, it's actually really underrated.
It is.
Like, we call it a classic, but this album could rival really any of the top albums
it can.
that came out
Listen,
in that time.
Look, like my man Rasta said, what up, dope boy? I see you out there. Listen, Biz Markie is an icon. Biz Markie changed some of what hip hop was with the style, because you know you had the Fat Boys and Run DMC and all them around that time, and people was actually like, this was like that staircase, that hallway music where you beatbox, you get in, you circle in, somebody beatbox, and everybody rhyme. So those were those days when you really had to have skill. You had to have skill, and you had to have a certain performance level to perform in the outside crowd like that.
And that's what Biz Markie was.
Right.
He was the ultimate performer.
Right. Because look, those crowds are unforgiving.
Him and Dougie Fresh.
Woo!
When we start talking about some of the best that ever do it, those dudes, from an entertainment standpoint, put on a hell of a show. Mm-hmm. They did it all.
And listen, you miss those guys in hip hop, because look, when you was going to a Biz Markie show, when you was going to a Dougie Fresh, I don't care who it was, a Fat Boy show, you knew what to expect, and you was ready to turn up when you walked in the show. You knew that they was gonna come in and give it their all, 100%. They gave their love to the people, to the fans. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you loved about them, because those guys were authentic. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop at that time, it was at its most authentic.
That's a fact.
At that time.
So today's classic, like, we're gonna keep it Biz Markie. The name of the album is Going Off. If you never heard it, you are really missing out on some real classic hip hop.
Look, it don't even matter what you throw on, man. Just throw something for the people on, man. Because you know what? With the Biz, we got an icon. He you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into the story after this. Right? And well, look, while we in this, and that's a perfect segue to get into this. So look, I don't know much about the story. I heard a little bit about it today, and I didn't get a chance to get the articles and read it. So look, break a little bit of the story down on what's happening and why we're covering Biz today.
Like I said, he had, I want to say it was last year. I could be wrong, but I believe it was a stroke. So if there's anybody that's in the comment section who has more knowledge of what exactly what illness he was dealing with, just feel free to comment and post it. And I don't want to misinform the people, but whatever illness it was that he was dealing with, he's been dealing with it for probably about a year now. And the reports had went out that Biz Markie had passed away, and later on, maybe an hour after that, and well, let me say something else.
Okay.
Because it was a major media source that released this story. And this kind of ties into something else that we're going to cover later on in the show. But we really have to be careful with information coming from sources.
Right.
Before I post anything, especially something dealing with death, because you have to understand that the family don't want to see that. You know what I mean? They probably stressed out as it is, dealing with whatever.
Right.
And you turn on your social media and somebody saying that somebody you love has passed away. So I just encourage everybody, check your source.
Check your source.
Matter of fact, I will almost say I would probably wait for somebody from the family to make a statement.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because when you're dealing with the internet, there's all kind of you know, platforms that just want to get hits and likes and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like they just want attention. One thing that we do here at C&E, a lot of before we put out anything, we really do our homework on whatever it is that we're projecting
Right.
to the world.
But that's only fair because look, and look, like you said, on a story like this, before you break a story and say that, you know, Biggs Marcus passed away and this, that, and the third,
Right.
it's only right to let his family break the story first.
Right, because it becomes what it is when it comes to media, and that's kind of like why I feel like I want to establish my own media source.
Right.
Is because
I thought that's what you was doing.
that is what we do.
Okay.
It becomes a race for arms, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's racing to break the fresh story. They
Right.
want to have it first.
Right.
And when you get into that business,
Mm-hmm.
at times you're gonna be wrong.
Right, because look, it's not always about breaking the story first, but it's about breaking the correct story, the quality story.
Breaking the correct story
You know what I'm
and
saying?
showing respect on
Right.
top of it.
Right, you have to do that, man, because this guy's family is grieving. I know they're
Right.
grieving. He has friends and people that are grieving. You know what I'm saying? They take this serious. They take it to the heart. So look, before you do that, look, just be careful.
And you
about
don't know
the
who's
things you're supposed
watching
to-
you.
Right.
And I'm telling you from experience, I have definitely social media matured. You know what I mean? You never know who's watching what it is that you're doing.
Right.
Just a quick little story on that, and then we could get right into topics. Once upon a time, this was years ago, like maybe when I first started social media, right? I put out a post about Prodigy, right?
Right.
I put out the post about Prodigy, and basically what I was saying was I felt like Prodigy fell off after HNIC, right?
Right.
So I was basically, even though that's my opinion and I stand on my opinion, but it taught me a lesson. It taught me a valuable lesson because I got DMs.
Ooh, like crazy.
Like I got, actually Prodigy's daughter was one of my Facebook friends.
Right.
And shout out to Esther. Along with a few other people.
Okay.
That you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Black Poet from Screwball. A couple of people who knew Prodigy actually addressed me about what I said.
Right.
Now, granted, that's my opinion, right?
Right.
But at the time, I didn't take in consideration that somebody that was close to this individual had access to me.
Right.
And could see what I was saying.
Right.
Like, it never in a million years that I gained
It didn't occur to you
Prodigy's daughter
Right.
would say something to me, or
Right.
you know, actually Black Poet being one of my heroes. I love Screwball
Right.
and the music that they do. Who Shot Rudy is one of my all-time.
But you gotta
favorites.
respect that.
But the point being, and the point of me bringing that up is, you never know who's watching. So even when you don't think that certain people are watching you, you still have to be responsible.
Exactly.
With what you say.
Exactly, and I'm learning because this is all new to me, and it's all happening fast.
Right.
So I'm starting to learn not to break stories too quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to learn to, hey, look, you got to sit down and listen to some of these things. And now that I'm in school and working, I really don't have a lot of time, so I have to let you break the stories because I don't have the time to sit and listen at work. You know what I'm saying? So, but I like what you're saying. What you're saying is right on point, and we do need to start being mindful of the people out there that's watching us before we post certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because
Just watch what you say.
yeah, because people are real sensitive about certain things. And look, a family member is something as tragic as what's going on with Biz Markie. A sad story.
And we saw that happen with
You know.
Bushwick Bill as well.
We did.
Where people were breaking that story too
Right.
soon, and the man hadn't even passed away.
Haven't even passed away.
So, you know, and rest in peace to Bushwick Bill. But I was just using that as an example.
Right.
You know, sometimes people jump the gun, and
Right.
just be respectful,
Right.
and you know.
And with that being said, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the show today.
The meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes of the show today, man. This is the breaking story that everybody's been watching and everybody's been listening to.
Okay.
My man Bill is
Shout out.
back out. He's been released.
Shout out to Cosby.
Shout out to Bill Cosby being released from prison yesterday, man.
Cause me, and I'm not speaking for E, because I don't know really how he feels about this situation.
Oh, I know how Bill feels.
Well, I'm talking about how you feel about Bill.
Oh, how I feel
because
about Bill?
there are a lot of people that are outraged
That he's out?
that he's out.
Why?
But you know what? Me, personally, and this is me without E. Now, if E's on the team, then, hey, we're going to do this together. But there is a possibility that he could oppose me and be
That
on
man
the
should
side.
be out. Ain't no way in the world that man should have been in prison.
He shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Ain't no way. I said it. I ain't taking it back. I don't care who heard it or who listened.
Get mad. Like I said, I said
Man shouldn't have been in prison.
in a blast the other day, yesterday, matter of fact. I don't care if you get mad. The man got railroaded. Point blank in the story. He got railroaded.
Right.
In more ways than one.
He did, man.
I urge anybody to read the deposition. And if you don't know, there are two depositions. There is one that was released by, what's her name? Adriana Constant. Her attorney had released one that was edited, and it pointed out all the points that she wanted to make them look good. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter remains, the woman was assaulted by Bill Cosby, allegedly. Mm-hmm. And after being assaulted, she continued to visit that man.
See, this stuff is crazy.
She even invited her parents to come stay with him. This is after the alleged assault.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Right.
I don't care how you twist and turn it. I'm not about,
I'm gonna come visit you after you assaulted.
I'll put it to you like this. And I urge, and I've said this before in this show, women, I respect it more if you act like you were assaulted.
That's
If you wait until 2022 to bring up charges from 1965 or 1972,
right,
or 1985 for that matter,
right.
me personally, I don't want to hear it.
I think this was assault on the character of Bill Cosby. This is just my personal opinion. I don't know everything that happened in there, but I do know this: that in the 60s, the 70s, they would use Quaaludes. This was a party type of thing.
That's what people, and then you have to also take in consideration. I think a lot of people put themselves in Bill Cosby's shoes.
Right.
And guess what? You can't.
You can't.
You don't know what it feels like to be one of the richest men in the world.
But not even just the richest man. He was the Bill Cosby tried to display and show out what he wanted black people to be. He tried to portray an image or put out an image of what black people really was like during that show, because we are just like that in that show where he said, we may not express it with the ebonics all the time, but inside the home talking to your mama, you're not talking to your mom and dad. Right. Street language. And the thing, the street language and the ebonics is just a code that we use, so you can't decipher what we're saying. Or you may decipher it sooner or later, but we say it just at the moment so you don't understand or know what we're talking about, whether it comes to cops or corporate America. We had to create our own language.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one of those things that was happening. So Bill Cosby, when he was out, he displayed the black image in a positive manner, which was great for black America. Even when you look at Bill Cosby in comedy, right? We talking about, look, we're not just talking about
comedy.
Right, we're not talking about just an ordinary black man. I tell you what, let me put it to you like this. Just like Michael Jordan is, when they say they see Michael Jordan as a god, when they see him, man, I stepped in the court with him, it was like a god. Imagine stepping in film back in those days with Richard Pryor and all those people, with Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby telling them guys, look, I know the comedy y'all doing is great and all this, but look, think about your kids and think about how people viewing you and looking at you.
And so people don't misinterpret what I was saying. You haven't walked in the shoes of somebody that's a billionaire.
Right.
You don't understand that world and those pressures.
Right.
And the things that those dudes, people like that, deal with from day to day.
Right.
We talk this a different league. I can't compare my life to Bill Cosby's life. Now, some of the things now there are certain things that are, assault is assault, and it don't matter who do it.
Right.
But when you're one of the richest people in the world and most successful black men in the world,
Right.
women are gonna throw themselves at you all the time.
All the time. That's gonna be natural.
That's just and you talking about in the 70s. You know what I mean? When niggas wore spoons around their neck for sniffing coke.
Right. That's what it was.
It's a different time.
A different time.
And it's a different level of what would you call that? Levels of success.
Right.
Or of stature.
Well, his social status was very huge.
His social status, there you go.
His social status was huge.
You cannot compare you putting your hand between a female. Like, Bill Cosby, there's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
As successful as that man was, there was probably women lined up outside of his trailer.
Right, waiting for him to smack him on the fanny and all this other stuff.
Just, like, come on, man.
And look.
At the Playboy Mansion.
Look, before you finish, let me throw this out here because you listen, you very passionate about this. I see it. And I'm going to let you handle your business, but I want to say this. I'm going to make this disclaimer. By no way means are we saying that victims of sexual harassment, we undermining you. No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is this particular situation with Bill Cosby, I just don't understand it.
A lot of holes in the story.
It's too many holes in the story. I'm not going to go and visit someone that assaulted me in a way and degraded me and made me feel that way. And there have been reports of women coming out saying that they lied.
And then the government lied. On top of that, they got that man to open up in the deposition about his extramarital affairs.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's what they did.
That's crazy.
Went in agreement that nothing that comes out in this deposition could be used against him in trial. They went to trial. They had no evidence.
No evidence.
There was no rape kits taken. And you talking about, like, listen, that number kept growing and growing and growing and growing. It might have
somebody should have had a rape kit.
About 67. Nobody took a rape kit.
And that's my point. Because listen, there should because there wasn't DNA proof back then for you to find out about the rape kit, but they still had the evidence that they had a rape kit. It would still been on file. It would still been saved. And they could have produced that rape kit and said, okay, let me take a DNA test. You see what I'm saying? And I don't like this. I don't like this at all because, look, we're sitting here and we're people of America, corporate America, are trying to crucify Bill Cosby for something that there is no evidence for. And here we are. We're talking about somebody getting off with a light sentence. This is what I mean, that black people go to prison for no evidence at all. Black people are convicted and sentenced to lengthy sentences in America without any evidence.
And then, and shout out to my main man, Illa's son, who got a dope comment, and he basically says it all. He says, ask the people who are mad, what is the meaning of due process?
Right.
When it came to this case,
they didn't allow that.
There was no due process. There were all kinds of holes. You had people within, in the DA and the judge and all these different people with agendas, even agendas against each other.
Right.
There were all sorts of things that was wrong with this case, and then on top of that, first of all, they leaked the deposition, which is illegal. They weren't supposed to do that.
Exactly.
Then they lied. They lied. They which Bill could have evoked his Fifth Amendment right.
Right. He could have been.
But I think in his old age, he looked at it like, man, I ain't gotta lie about nothing.
Right.
So he went in there. He talked about his extramarital affairs. He talked about using Quaaludes, giving Quaaludes. I mean, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
we talking about a different time, bro.
But look at that. This man went in court and humiliated himself just so he can exonerate himself, so he can be exonerated from these charges.
In agreement that they could not use that, none of that testimony.
But it convicted him. Listen, and this is what I say. And this is what I hate about the American justice system. Because you have 12 jurors and then that you pick. And you pick these jurors. And then you say this can't be used against you in sentencing. Then why ask it? Because in my mind, if I'm a juror...
But see, what's the name's attorney? And this is what I'm saying. And this is the way that process went. Miss Constantine, however you say her name, her attorney leaked the edited copy of the deposition to the media before the trial. Then the media decided that they're gonna put the pressure on that district to release the whole deposition, which is illegal, and they did it. That's problematic in itself.
Listen, and this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I do not like about the justice system, because I'm telling you from experience, it's not good. It's not good when it comes to black people. And here we are talking about Bill being released before Independence Day, the so-called Independence Day of white America. Not of black America, because black America was slaves during July 4th times, when America gained its independence, right? Against the British. Was it the British, right? It was the British. It was the Revolutionary War, right?
Paul Revere and all that?
No, I'm talking about the independence of America, July 4th.
Yeah, I think that was
It was, I think I want to say the Revolutionary War, but look, quote me if I'm wrong, I can take it straight. But what I'm saying is this, man, look, this stuff has got to stop. You look, we can't continue on like this as American people, as people of America. We can't continue to say some is good, not as good, because we're talking about at the height of Independence Day that's coming up, and black people are still not free. Right? We're enslaved. We're judged and prosecuted and sentenced before the trial ever starts. And that
in the eyes of the public.
In the eyes of the public. And that was the purpose for leaking that deposition.
Facts.
The purpose for leaking that deposition to the media was to convict him before trial.
Exactly.
And that's what happened.
And they did the same thing to O.J. Simpson.
Same thing.
Now, granted, you can say that O.J. maybe he had paid for, I think what he could have got convicted for the first time was more serious than what they convicted him for the second time.
Right.
He got railroaded too. It's these, and shout out to Cool Cam who came through on the last episode, brung up very valid point. And it's my obligation to keep pushing that agenda. We gotta take a strong, serious look at who we putting in office to make these decisions. And that's just the whole truth. Because these people out here doing what they want to do.
And they're going to continue to do it. See, listen, that's why I tell people, they think that, but these situations, look, I'm telling you that the Klan exists. They just have on suits. They're in your offices.
That's what they do.
They're in your offices. They're in your Senate seats. They're in your judge seats, your judicial seats. They're in your local court seats, your judges. These people are racist. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you and act like this thing just doesn't exist. Because if I do that, then I'm a liar.
So let me ask you this. And this is just me playing devil's advocate here to make the show entertaining. I don't agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm just going to throw it out there.
Okay.
What do you say to the people who are going to say that due process doesn't matter? If he's guilty, then he should stay in prison.
Look, man, that's just the...
What do you say to... Because there are a lot of people who are going to say that. Like, never mind that they railroaded him. It's kind of like they saying, it don't matter about the law. We got the right guy. So let's keep him in there.
Right. I would tell them, man, look, just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth, man. Because for real, I mean, look, it doesn't make sense for a person to be treated like this.
Right.
I mean, look, by God, look, I don't know what happened with Bill back in the 70s, the late 60s, early 70s, mid 70s, early 80s. I don't know. But I know one thing. During that time, it was a different era. Right. And they were using Quaaludes. They were using cocaine.
Man, I am
everything above
43 years old. I've gone to a party where I seen a bowl of X-Pills.
I'm on with LB on. LB, I rock with you, man. This weekend, everybody out there, black, go to the store and buy you some Jello pudding pops. You know what I mean? Hey, get up here, get the pudding pops. You can be with the Jello pudding pops. You know what I mean? Jello pudding pops. You know what?
Matter of fact, if you come through to the Dove Cookout, pudding pops for everybody.
Listen, we having a cookout, the discussion. We're going to be here having a cookout at the Dove's residence, baby, over here in Raleigh.
Pudding pops for everybody.
Pudding pops for everybody. I'm buying pudding pops.
So with that being said, you want you to tell the people where they can find the set, bro?
Hey, look, man, you already know, man. I'm already turned to the max tonight, man. I'm off to work to Tuesday. And look, we celebrating Bill. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Hey, look, should I continue? Should I keep going? No. Hit the notification bell, man. Hit the like button, man. Share this with your friends, man. If you want to see the show continue and further and grow, donate to the show, man. We here, man. That's what we here for, man. See any discussion.
And when are we here, E?
Every Tuesday and every Thursday, the same way we've been telling y'all for the last 6-8 months, whatever it was. We the most consistent, man. Just show up, and we're going to be there to entertain you, baby.
No doubt. So everybody, with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all day. And we'll probably come live this weekend while we burning. You know what I mean?
Just a little something for the people, man. Just to show what the discussion do, man, on their days off.
All right, y'all have a good day. Peace.
This word without no doubt. Means nobody wanna beat that one down and out. No one you established and got a lot of money. Everybody wanna be your buddy and honey. Like tall buildings, they call skyscrapers.
You got the vapors.
Nothing can save ya, but this is the season of catching the vapors. And since I got time, what I'm going to do is tell you how.